You know who my next guest is. He won season 1 of The Ultimate Fighter, and he is a UFC welterweight with a 27-11 record. It is Diego Sanchez joining me here. Diego, how are you?
Doing fantastic, James. Just pulled over to the Starbucks, fit this interview in, talk about the miracle stuff, the CBD, and talk about what's going on with me and my fight career, and just touch base.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, man. But first, I wanted to talk about a post you had. You gave your support for Tony Ferguson. I saw that on Instagram. What sort of prompted that? We got the big fight coming up next Saturday.
Well, what prompted that was just a lot of guys in the gym, and my team manager. He's Russian, and so he's just like Khabib on another level. Khabib on another level. I'm like, no, Tony's got this. Tony's got this. I know what Tony's capable of doing, and in my opinion, Tony's the real champ right now, and he's evolved, and I think he's got what it takes, and he's proved it, man. He fought in Mexico. He fought in Mexico City along with me, and that Mexico City is just crazy because of the altitude, but it's the smog. It's the smog. If you could handle smog and altitude at the same time, it kills your cardio. While cutting down to 155s and fighting a guy like RDA, everybody knows how good RDA is. And what he did in that fight that night, I think that was his best performance. And I think that he's going to have the edge. He did the camp in Big Bear. Khabib did his camp down in AKA at sea level. They're going to meet up in Vegas, and I think that come fourth round, that Tony's really going to start to take over. He has the reach, he has the jab, and he has those dangerous elbows, and it's only going to take one of those elbows to change Khabib's whole mindset. And I'll tell you why. Because when I fought Miles Jury, I was coming in aggressive the way Khabib likes to come in, and Jury timed just a straight up right hand overhand elbow. I came into it, I felt my skin just it was like butter. It just melted like butter. It went all the way to the bone. It made me, I had this inner subconscious feeling where I was like, I don't ever want to go through that ever again in my life. And I've had some of the worst cuts in the game from punches, and I'm resilient when it comes to healing from cuts and bouncing back and being okay. But that elbow was different. There's no pad on an elbow, and once you get hit with one clean, it will change your thought process, and it's a subconscious mind thing.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. It's a really good matchup, and definitely like that assessment of that fight. But let's talk about you. We haven't seen you since November. Of course, you fought Matt Brown. What's sort of been the latest with you as far as what's next and everything else?
You know what? It's right now. What's next for me is something huge. I have something in the works where I have an opponent who has agreed to fight. He wants to fight me just as bad as I want to fight him. He's an amazing top level guy. I can't give it away. I don't want to get in trouble. Don't want to get in trouble with Sean and piss him off or anything. But I've just got my fingers like this, and I'm up at the top of the mountain praying that the fight's going to go through soon. But the last 6 months, the last 6 weeks, I've been training like I have a full force camp. I'm training hard. I'm just having fun with it, and I'm just looking forward to that next fight. I want to get in there and fight. It's going to be 170. It's going to be 170. I thought about going down to 55 again, and I talked to my team of advisors, Greg Jackson, Winklejohn, everybody on the team, and the advice that they gave to me was that if I could do it healthy, that the best bet was going to be to go back down to 155, just because of my frame and my stature. And so I considered it, and I hired a new nutritionist, Dr. Anita. She works out of Jackson Wink Academy, and and we done some great things, and I've gotten fight lean, and I'm still 175, and I'm okay with fighting at 170 at 175, just because the weight cut down to 55, it is it from even from 65. I'm already drawn out at 65, and then to do 10 more pounds, it just takes all my focus, it takes all my energy, and it takes all my passion away. I don't like the fact that the night, 48 hours before the fight, I don't get to have a good night's rest. That I'm staying up late because I'm cutting the water weight out, and I got early weigh-ins at 8 in the morning, and I'm not getting a good night's rest. If any, maybe 1 or 2 hours of sleep. That close to battle, I want to be rested. I want to be fresh. I want to be focused on the competition. My last fight with Matt Brown at 170, I felt fantastic. Everything was going according to plan. I got a little excited when I dropped in with the liver kick. I got overzealous and threw it again. He caught it, and I tried to kick out of a single. While kicking out of a single, I've never had anybody long enough or even capable of throwing an elbow to the back of the head. I didn't want to cry, complain, go to the commission, because at the end of the day, I talked to God about it, and I said, God, well, if I was fighting Matt Brown out in the middle of the desert over that last piece of water, I probably would have been still KO'd. I took it like a man, and I'm moving forward. As far as my health goes, I feel much, much better at 36 than I did at 26. And in the last 3 years, I've done the opposite of what most fighters my age do, and that's slow down. They slow down, and the speed is the first thing that goes in boxers. Boxers are not mixed martial artists. Mixed martial arts is a complete different game. And when I was in that fight with Miles Jury, he was able to outquick me and stick and move. And that day, I started working. The day after that fight, I started working on foot speed and being faster and working with lightweights. And the product of my hard work is I have increased my speed dramatically. And when I cut down to 55, my legs are not fresh, my feet are not fresh, and I'm just not fresh. And I want to fight the remainder of my career. I want to fight fresh. I want to fight healthy, and I'm going into a sport that my health is 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 on the line. And why am I going to go and fight my health on the line in a state where I'm already putting that to a negative? And so I've made the decision to stay at 70. I've been asking for a 165-pound division for the last 7 years. The sport needs it. I think it's complete, excuse my language, it's complete bullshit that there's not equality in our sport. Why is there not equality in our sport? We have equality. You have equality in the decision that you want to be a man or a woman nowadays, but we don't have equality in our sport. It's crap. There's no reason that those one, if they make it the same, 15 pounds all the way down to the little small bantamweights, then it would be fair and it would be equal. But it's not. They put us the most of the fighters in UFC, the most men, the average size men is a lightweight who cuts from some of the guys cut from 85 down to 55. The welterweights cut from 200 down to 70. That's where most average men sit. That's why 155 and welterweight are the most stacked divisions out of all the UFC. They hold the most talent, the most speed, the most power. It is the most dangerous waters to be swimming around in. It's all sharks, and it's all dangerous sharks. And when we don't have this 10 pounds, we need 10 pounds. I could cut from 175 down to 165 very healthy and be fine. It's that extra 5 pounds where there's not equality in the sport, and it's wrong. And I'm not all for the union and everything, but this is one thing that should be fair. And someone needs to voice this. We need to voice this. I've even reached out to Conor McGregor and been like, "Come on, Conor. You know, you're the guy with the power. You're the guy who has the cell power, the Dana power, the Ari power. You have the favor. Go in there and get this 165-pound division. Fight George St. Pierre and possibly be a tri-division champion. You know, so that's where I'm at right now. I'm excited for my next battle at 170. I'm walking 175, 177, and I'm fine playing the David and Goliath, and I'm absolutely fine because I feel I'm safer fighting at 170, fighting a bigger man and that outsizes me with my good health, my good hydration, and my good rest. So that's what's going on with me. I'm excited. I tried to get on the May 19th Chile card or the Brazil card. I'm waiting to hear back from Sean Shelby. Sean Shelby, it's one of those things, you know, when they're busy, I'm like this, and I'm waiting to. I'm waiting, but I'm training. I'm healthy, and I'm excited. I'm excited for whatever's next. I'm doing a lot of work with the military, going overseas, working in Iraq, Kuwait, and so I have side jobs that I'm working on. And if I'm not going to get a fight, I'm going to line something else up. But right now, I'm excited about getting a fight. I'm hungry for a fight. I think the time is now, and I'm ready. So big news coming up, huge news coming up. If this fight goes through, you guys are going to have an awesome show, and it's a David and Goliath battle, and I'm excited to be the David.
Awesome. I can't wait to hear what that is. And it's always good to hear that you have, news coming up, fight news. I know another big thing that you've been doing lately is obviously the recovery. That's an important part of the sport, especially as you get older. And I know one of the things you've been using is CBD oil. How's that been going and as far as recovery and, getting ready for your next fight?
Well, CBD oil, it has been a complete blessing. When I first started using CBD oil, I was like, I had these high hopes. I was like, oh man, this stuff, I hear all of this stuff about CBD oil. All right, let's give it a try. And I started with a high dosage of 3,000 milligrams a day, and I did it for 1 week. And at the end of the first week, I felt like my body was a little more lubed up. I felt healthy. My rest was a little more deep. I felt a little more rested. And it wasn't until the end of the second week till I noticed something very beneficial, and that was memory recall. Memory recall started to get better, and I fell in love with this. And that is the reason why I fell in love with CBD, and I continue to be an ambassador for CBD because it's a miracle. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. It's what it is. It really does help the brain clean out the garbage. It helps the brain in so many numerous ways, and it helps the body. It's something that is made for fighters, and that's why I was so excited to get behind the Terphouse, because the Terphouse is a fighter-owned company. We have the owner of the company who used to fight Muay Thai and suffered a brain aneurysm, and CBD was able to help him, and CBD has been able to help many people who suffer from addiction problems and opiate problems, and there's a ton of benefits. For me, I love the product. I love what it does for me, and I'm all about longevity. I'm the longest lasting, the last man standing from the UFC Ultimate Fighter TV show, and I'm also the longest contracted active fighter of UFC all-time history. And so with that, I feel great. And there's some people out there that are like, Diego, you've done enough for the sport. Oh, you're going to be drinking through a straw when you're done, and all these negative stuff that they like to say. But I'm like, well, you know what? That's not your decision, and you're not me. I'm the one who knows where my brain health is. I'm the one who knows how I speak and how I talk. That's me, and I love fighting. It's what I do. I chose to do this sport. I love this sport, and I will continue to fight my little ass off as long as I can to the best of my ability. Will I be a Randy Couture? Will I be a Dan Henderson? I don't know. All I know is that I'm still getting better. All I know is that I had a rough couple fights, and I bounced back. And this next fight, I'm all in. I'm already in fight shape. I'm ready to take a fight on 1 week notice, 2 days notice, 3 days notice, 4 days notice. I'm ready for something spectacular to open and the universe, and I'm ready.
And you mentioned, obviously, the benefits you've had with CBD oil. Was there any hesitation taking it initially, just because I know you've been kind of against marijuana in some interviews, and I know they're not the same thing, but I know there's some sort of misinformation out there, people, linking marijuana with CBD oil.
That's a big thing, and I'm a Christian man. My life revolves around God, and so, yeah, I had some concerns at first, but I know the difference. And I have had my fair dance with Mary Jane, and it was a love-hate relationship for a lot of years. But CBD is the best. It's not THC, it's not psychoactive, and what it does is beneficial to me, beneficial to my memory and my mind, and my joints, my health, and recovery, and longevity. So it wasn't a no-brainer for me. I knew right away this stuff is amazing. I need to link up with the right people, and this is something that I need in my life. The best I can. I want to be a part of a CBD company. That's how much I love CBD. I think it's natural, and I'm a naturalist. I don't like even taking ibuprofen or Tylenol. I do yoga. I absorb energy from the storm. I believe in nature and the frequency, and I think that nature has a way of healing itself, and I think that that's what this is. I think it's a natural medicine.
What are you watching on Netflix right now? You watching any TV right now? During training camp and everything like that.
Right now I'm not watching much on Netflix. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, trying to get some Jesus movies in before Easter. Honestly, I've just been super busy with family and training on top of that, and just loving life to the fullest.
Well, Diego, this was awesome. It was great getting a chance to catch up with you, man. And I hope this big fight that you're talking about ends up coming to fruition, man. Just remind people where they can get a hold of you on social media. And if you got any sponsors or shout outs or anything like that, man, the floor is yours.
Diego Sanchez, right here. You can find me, Diego Nightmare Sanchez UFC on Instagram, Diego Sanchez UFC on Twitter. I'm suspended from Facebook at the moment, but I'm gonna get that one back pretty soon. Everybody, apologize for the Starbucks music that's so loud. I didn't want to have to yell the whole interview. I would like to relax and be a little more calm and calculated. But you know what? I got some music in the background, and I got a coffee in my hand. I'd much rather have a caveman coffee or 100 hands coffee. Shout out to those two coffee companies, both owned by two of my friends, Keith and Carlos. And as far as sponsors go, the Terphouse, thank you for having me. And let's blow this CBD world up. Let's blow the CBD world up. Go to the website, put in the code Nightmare, get your bottle of CBD, 20% off, and I'll give you a follow too on Twitter.